Trump on internal MAGA criticism. Let's see what kind of internal turmoil is happening in the MAGA circles.
Atlantic, Trump hit back at some of these critics saying he is the one who came up with America First in the first place, so he gets to decide what it means. This is, I mean, we were just talking about peace, right? Like Trump, it feels like he's a little bit at war with himself because he said all the time, I mean, he wants to be known as the peacemaker, the deal maker, the guy who ends wars. And yet here he finds himself defending another war.
Well, I don't think Trump's defending the war. Trump's defending Israel's actions, and within a week or two, he's going to try to find an off-ramp to bring it to peace. And as for Tucker Carlson and Steve Bannon, they do not define what the MAGA or the conservative base is. There's two idiot conspiracy theorists. The base, the MAGA base, the conservative base, believe me, they're all behind Trump, and that's it. He's the one that calls the shots on what kind of defines that MAGA base. And he's not trying to get us into a war. He's trying to get us out of that war. And yes, and he understands the political ramifications if it goes too long, if it doesn't work out. So that's why I think he's back in D.C. doing everything they can to kind of cut a deal to end this within a couple of weeks.
Than the governor's given credit for. Meaning, I think that this is really a divisive issue within MAGA. I don't think everyone in MAGA is saying, okay, we're with Trump on this. A good number of high-profile MAGA figures who are saying, this is not what we signed up for. Now, does that mean they're going to stop supporting Donald Trump? No. Yeah. But it means that on this issue, we're seeing a fracture that we have not seen up to this point within MAGA world. And that is a big deal.
I think that there's a feeling of betrayal here. Marjorie Taylor Greene, another one of these very close Trump supporters, big backers of his, says anyone slobbering for the U.S. to become fully involved in the Israel-Iran war is not America First MAGA. They're putting a line down, and Trump is being forced to make a choice.
Yeah, but we just saw a little clip. I don't know if you asked Steve Bannon straight up, you think Iran should have nuclear capabilities? I'm pretty sure he would say no.
No, he doesn't, but he doesn't want the U.S. to be involved in the fight.
Okay, but unless the U.S. is involved, we may have a big problem.
What is happening, bro? On CNN, panelists are outflanking Steve Bannon.
Donald Trump is born and raised a New Yorker, surrounded by Jewish people, more Jewish people than anywhere else in the United States of America. His daughter is now Jewish. His grandchildren are Jewish. All his good friends are Jewish.
Listen, you don't get it. Donald Trump's got a lot of Jew friends, all right? I don't trust them. They're money guys. I don't know. He doesn't either, but he knows them. What was I saying? I don't know, something about nuking Iran. I think we should do that. What does this have to do with anything?
Hundreds of thousands of Americans in Israel. So it would just be a dereliction of duty if he didn't step in and protect.
What is Cornell was doing there, bro?
American interests. We have military interests there. We have human being interests there and cultural interests there. They're the only democracy in that area. We need them to stay a democracy.
He was just in the Arab world. He's got a lot of friends there, too. They just gave him a $400 million jet from Qatar. A lot of people voted for Donald Trump because he told America that Joe Biden and the Democrats were going to lead to World War III. He said that he was going to end wars on day one. Certainly, he said that about the Ukraine war. I think that once he got in there, he's realized it's not as easy as he thought. I think it's difficult for the MAGA world. There's a faction of it that is very isolationist and doesn't want us to be involved in anything, to accept that this is the reality of being the leaders of the free world if we are still that. I mean,
you see, when you're transactional all the way down, my dear brother, it means that you have only permanent interests, no permanent friends, no permanent enemies even. It's like Thrasymachus in Plato's Republic. You just go through the world believing you can have transactional relations with everybody. It's a very sad way of being in the world, but that's not what we're talking about right now. Which means that any minute he could betray any group.
But when you're president of the United States, don't you have those types of relationships all over the globe, from North Korea to Iran?
That's true. But he, as governor, you had to have some integrity. It's not reducible to transactional.
I only got.
Is that true? Am I right?
Look, I had relationships with everybody, and I think Trump's approach is, look, to make sure we're protecting America's interests. I think to Arthur's point exactly, it is in our interest to make sure, and it's in everyone's interest to make sure there's nothing nuclear in Iran, and that is very much an America first in America's interest.
Netanyahu made it very explicit. He said it's America first, not America dead, essentially. I mean, that's pretty stark.
Yeah, but I think we have to ask the question, how involved is the U.S. actually? I mean, my understanding is, yes, the U.S. has been involved in assisting in knocking down some missiles that have been coming into Israel. Is that significant? Yeah. Does that mean that the U.S. is at war with Iran? No. Does it mean that the U.S. is providing bunker busters to get rid of Iran?
That's exactly what that means. We can just bomb a different country and it's still not considered being involved. Is Scott Jennings still in Israel? Oh my God, that's why he's not on the panel. Scott Jennings went for Tel Aviv Pride and he's stuck there, dude. Oh, that's so funny. I really hope his ass is not getting out of there. I hope he's just stuck there for as long as Israel chooses to continue this campaign and his ass is just stuck. Stuck listening to Psytrance. Stuck being a human shield for the Netanyahu campaign. Oh, that's so funny. Oh my God. He has to like sit there and listen to Mike Huckabee every night. Oh, he's back. Oh, God damn it. I thought Israel wasn't letting anybody fly out. How are these guys flying out? Isn't like the airspace completely closed? Do you really think World War III is even in the cards with everything happening at Zach Rar? Yeah. Based. Yeah. Well. Based. Yeah. Trump's based. He's gonna save us. He's gonna make America great again. Yeah, it's real clear. Look around and find out. Did I give you what you wanted? I think so. Isn't that good? Saw something a bit ago where Israel's letting out visitors but not their own citizens. Fatah's powerful and maneuverable missiles tonight passed through the missile defense shield, shook the Zionist cower shelter many times. Tonight's missile attack showed that we have gained complete control over the skies of the occupied territories and that its residents have become completely defenseless against Iranian missile attacks. What are you memeing? Why is the RRGC putting out memes, dude? What are they doing? Oh my God, they're going to get collapsed on. The statement appears to be a direct response to the Israeli and U.S. claims of air superiority. Israeli officials recently said that the IDF had established control over Tehran's airspace by destroying Curated defense systems. President Trump also declared so on social media, we now have complete and total control over the skies in Iran. Iranian state account dropped a banger meme. I don't want to believe that this is real. It's so lame. I don't think this shit's funny. Is Iran tweeting like King Von or is that just fake news? Yes, it's fake news. It's a random account that is not affiliated with the Iranian state that a lot of people have thought is the Iranian state. And I haven't really, talked about it because it's cool that people think that the Iranian government is posting like King Von and they think they're like farming aura or something, but it's not real.
If their back is against the wall, they feel this is the regime is going to live or die based on this, and they are so inclined, could they fashion some sort of crude nuclear device?
No, not with 60%. The minimum is 70%. You just got to get the uranium-235 isotopes close enough together that once you start the reaction, it'll go to explosion and not fizzle out. That's why 70, 80, 90% is preferable. The unknown here is what you would do once you got a crude device. So instead of fashioning it into a device you could fit on a warhead of a missile to deliver that way, that might take you 1 to 2 years. Perhaps you just want to do something you can deliver in the cargo hull of a ship or by truck or by airplane. Well, that you might be able to do in a couple of months, a couple of weeks. You just don't know. That's why the idea of attacking Iran now like this is really rolling the nuclear dice. Maybe you can succeed. I say there's a chance of that, but there's a far greater chance that this could lead to the kind of catastrophe that military and intelligence officials have been warning about for 20 years. There's a reason we haven't done this before. The risks are just too great. There are alternatives to military action, and that is diplomacy. It's the only thing that has worked to stop Iran from getting a bomb. It still has a chance to work if the President of the United States can make up his mind and decide what he wants to do.
And just briefly, the risks you're talking about are not just of what kind of regime takes over, are you talking about a nuclear risk in an attack, that a bombing of a facility could actually have a radiological event?
Right. If we attack Iran, and it looks like we're going to do that, there's a number of things that people have warned about that are likely to happen. Closing the Straits of Hormuz, shutting off, therefore, about a quarter of the world's oil supply. That will sink stock markets around the world, could throw us into a global recession. U.S. bases in the area are going to be attacked. U.S. missiles are going to start attacking sites perhaps throughout the Middle East where U.S. forces are involved. The Quds force could start attacking U.S. and Israeli interests outside the region. These people know what they're doing. They can blow up restaurants, blow up symbols of U.S.
finally,
power.
someone with like a little bit of
to break out at this point. And then at the top of that list of unknowns is that Iran could announce that it has a nuclear weapon and that it has smuggled it into a port of a European ally of the United States.
This is pure fantasy, but like the other stuff is not wrong. There is like supposed to be an active military deterrent.
A nuclear test to just show us that it has a nuclear weapon. What do we do then? That's why this is such an unnecessary gamble.
Joseph Sterncioni, I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you. Coming up next, the Republican divide over the Israel-Iran conflict. How the president.
I don't even think there is that much of a divide amongst Republicans, man. I think that they will be whipped back into submission. Like this whole like Marjorie Taylor Greene / Tucker Carlson meta, all of that I think is just pure show. MAGA is a cult. And as much as there are, some naysayers in the podcast sphere, this, by the way, I saw this as an ad on my Twitter timeline. I fought in enough fake wars. I think I'll sit this one out. First of all, Sean Ryan, you're like 60 years old and you're a podcaster. I don't think they're going to be calling you back for one last job. Okay. Yeah. This was an ad on my Twitter timeline. He bought this as an ad. That's why he's got 73,000 likes. Hey, it's on serious question. Couldn't Iran just pretend they got a nuke? Why couldn't they just lie? No, they can't. They can't just be like, we have a nuke now.